Here we are, gardening with Big Ben inside my greenhouse. And today, we're going to be dividing two ornamental grasses here that I recently acquired. This one here is a rush called Blue Arrow. And you see, looks relatively healthy, right? Got like an interesting cylindrical style blade here. And right next to us, this is a compact, if you can believe that, at 5 feet, compact Miscanthus sinensis called Adagio. All right, so we're going to actually, and speaking of this rush, this actually reminds me a lot of fescue by its shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to whack this pot here and try to release it so it's tightly packed.
Hey, Ben, where did you get that green thing where all the dirt's going? Is that a piece of plastic you found somewhere or what?
This is actually it's a planting mat here.
Planting mat, okay.
All right, and that's useful I use it very helpful when I'm transplanting, dividing, to contain the soil. And it's very particularly useful when I'm either seeds or whatever. No matter how neat you are, you're always going to spill something here when you're working with soil. So this is a soil knife. It's stainless steel, made in Japan, and I got this through LeeValleyTools.com. I've used it for many years. In fact, I have many tools that I've had for many years with this one tool, and it has a serrated edge. It's specifically designed for cutting roots. Very, very useful when you're trying to divide ornamental grass. I mean, you can use a sharp knife, but who wants to use a kitchen knife in the garden? Because your spouse or significant other will never let you bring it into the kitchen again. So hopefully not cut my fingers, but you can see how this tool slices the root ball. Careful, because we don't want to sever any appendages. So this is one tight grouping here. You see how we got through there. See how it's a nice clean cut there. Now, part of this, we're cutting through the top root here. Now, what we have to be careful of is not to poke holes in our plastic mat here. So here, I'm going to open this up here. There. And I'm going to cut this actually from the top down. Okay, so yes, this is not necessarily the easiest thing, but you see we got most of the roots here cut through. We're gonna cut through on this side. All right, now. Okay, so now we're about 3/4 of the way. All right. Now, slice there. There we go.
Is it best to divide these things up when they're drier or when they're wet?
Well, wetness helps. But also remember, usually the best time to do this is in the spring before growth really starts. Now, here we go. Here is one half and another. Now, at this point, I'm going to keep this one intact, and we're going to pot this one up. Before we do, we're just going to stimulate the root ball here a little bit, so it'll encourage new root development. So that's going to set that aside here, and we're going to try to divide this one at least once more time. You see, there's one little clump right here. Okay, so we're going to try to, now that we got the initial division going, this goes a lot quicker. All right. So there is another, this is the blue rush here. Blue Arrows rush, sorry for that. But here's 1, 2, and 3 divisions right here. So at that point, I tend to probably go a little more with this one. Oh shoot, why not? What's it crazy? As Bob Ross says, just gonna, the initial cut was probably the most difficult, going through all the roots. You can see this goes a lot quicker, having the right tool. really makes the difference here. Now here I'm going to try to do this airborne because I don't want to cut through the plastic here, but sometimes here it goes. Now voila. So here we have 3 divisions of the rush, okay? So bottom line's short here. I have my potting soil, which in this particular case is from Sam's Club, okay? Now, a little more. That's another nice thing about having a mat like this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a little dirt at the bottom and keep this roughly at the same point it was in the previous pot. Okay, and we're going to pat this in here. We don't want to pat it too tight. Now, the nice thing about having this mat here, it gives us the opportunity just to be a little sloppy for the sake of speed. Otherwise, it would really kind of slow you down to have to be so neat and proper. So that's one potted division. We're going to do the others in a few minutes. Right now, though, we're going to set these aside. I'm going to put them in my little weight container here. So they're together. And just going to put a little label on this guy so we know who he is. We'll label the others in a few. Now this is going to go down on the floor down here, on the floor of the greenhouse, so we can water it. And that way we'll get that started. Now see right here we have all this debris here. Now I actually, in my greenhouse, I actually keep usually a bit of a garbage bag and or, you know, this is a leftover bag from my last batch of potting soil. All right, so I'm going to set this aside and we're going to work on this guy. Now let's see, I don't know exactly how difficult this one's going to be, but same procedure. You want to knock the roots enough so when you grab it here, it's going to come right out. All right, now same thing, we're going to use our trusty dandy soil knife. We're going to make a decision of where this knife is going to go through. Now, the roots here are not as tightly packed as the rush. And see, consequently, this goes through a lot faster. Always the part that's difficult is separating the root ball, getting through the initial roots up here. I'll tell you, I'm afraid I just sounded like I punched it into the hole in here. Yep, there. Fortunately, when I bought these, it was available in a 2-pack, so you shouldn't be totally afraid to cut through your fabric as you can, and it relatively inexpensively replace it. Now, here we have our two divisions right now. Now I'm going to try to make up to 4, similarly to the way I did the rest. Now see, here's nice little spice right in the middle here. We're just going to go ahead and see what I mean about going through. This tool makes it really, I mean, imagine it was difficult watching me cut the roots. Imagine me cutting the roots, however, with the this tool. It would be instrumentally more difficult using a regular knife or even a spade or anything, because the density of these roots. Now you see right here, a little close up of the roots here, that's almost like wood. It's very solid. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to slice that. Now, of course, you have to be careful working with these tools that you don't injure yourself. So keep your fingers away from the tip of the tool, obviously. So there we go. That's division number 3, and this is division number 4. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to pot this up here. Although I think, in all honesty, these are so big that these little gallon pots are a little puny. So pause the video for a moment. We're going to go ahead and grab some pots so that we can pot this up.
Well, rather than pause it, how about I show them some of the other plants that you got in the ground?
Go ahead and do that while I do pot.
First off, here's the potting mix that Ben mentioned that he got from Sam's. It goes on sale quite often, and he grabs it then. And I probably can't tell you the names of all the things that he does, but this is Magic Carpet. And over here are some plants. I'm going to say that a lot. These look like cypress trees over here. These are actually little trays with moisture from the breeze that helps the plants get started when he's propagating different things. I can't tell what's in there. And this is from the back end, as you can see. And over here he has some, what are these, honey?
Those are hydrangeas.
Hydrangeas, okay. They come in a lot of different colors depending on your acidity of your soil. And let me know when you're ready, dear.
Not quite.
Okay. These over here look like blue days.
Yes, they are.
As you can tell, I'm not the gardener here. Ben is.
Yeah, variegated ginger there, as well as variegated atapanthus.
Okay. And then up over here, we've got some stuff that I believe he just bought. These are some. These are more hydrangeas.
That works.
Nice to get a good start, pot them nicely and make sure they get a good start with him. And over here, wow, look at all this. I think we got some roses. Okay, these over here are petunias, I believe. Pretty little, aren't
Those are
they?
little tiny baby petunias.
That's what I thought. And these are roses.
All right.
So as you can see, he has lots of stuff going.
Pardon me for taking so a while, but I had to make sure I matched up the root mass to have something appropriate for the size of the roots here. So I'm just going to center that in the pot, and there. Okay. Now see, I'm not particularly worried about where the soil is going, because this little tray pretty much catches conservatively at least 99.9% of the soil that's flying around here now. A little tap, a little dusting of a dressing, and here a little discard here. And here we have our first division here. I'll put a little more on this side. Try to keep it at the same level it was before. But grass is a little flexible, so as long as you don't put it too deep or too high from where it was, it'll be quite happy with. I'm just going to push that down a bit. All right, so this one is also ready for watering. So those are our two divisions here. Remember, there will be a link to either leevalleytools.com or to Amazon if it's available there for using this tool for dividing not only ornamental grasses, but any type of root-based perennial. So,
as well as that.
Thank you. And of course, there'll be a link for this mat. And I believe it's a 2-pack. And thank you for joining us. Please like this channel, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And join us next time for Gardening with Big Ben. As you see, I am 6'6", and I just barely made it inside here. And you guys have a great day. So long.